saying you won 50th on the weekend. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, it's obviously a massive milestone. I think most players, if you ask them during their career, it's sort of, you don't sort of sweep it under the rug, but it just sort of goes hand in hand with everything that's going on, especially this season. It's probably been a little bit different, but I think it's more at the end of your career, you sit back and you reflect on it and stew on sort of what you've done and what's kind of happened. So obviously rapt to get it for this club, and I've been here 9.5 years now. So hope I've repaid a bit of it back to the recruiters and the club and the fans. So yeah, pretty big step.
And you'll be doing it in front of a crowd too. What does that mean?
Yeah, well, it's great that it's in front of our fans and back at the Adelaide Oval. So a little bit different to what it was like in round one, but hopefully it's sort of back to what we're kind of used to in 40,000, 50,000 fans. So yeah, very exciting.
Rory, what is it? Sort of looking back on 150 games. What does the club mean to you? Mentioned a lot just then. What does it mean, especially at a time when it's not going too well on the field? When you look back on and think of the Adelaide Football Club.
Yeah, I think it's I owe all of it to the Adelaide Footy Club. I was 17 when I got drafted, and it's fair to say I haven't grown too much, so I wasn't sort of the prototype player, and they took a swing on me, and I've hopefully, as I said, repaid a little bit of that back with sticking around and playing some consistent AFL football. So a professional club, and I owe a lot to them.
How do we put up with Brodie Smith running 50 games?
Yeah, look, mate, it's a tough question. I don't really know how you do it, but as Brodie's been here the whole time I have been, 9.5 years, so we've got a pretty good relationship. So
you've got a pretty good sort of friendship and relationship across the back line too. How do you reckon that's held up there? He seems to be probably the shining light out of a tough start.
Yeah, we're lucky enough to have the same core back line still pretty much there. The likes of Hardigan, Hutto, Tales, Tommy Duday played a fair bit with us in 2018, unfortunately with his knee. Obviously Luke Brown and Brodie a little bit through there. So we've been together for a few years now, probably 5 or 6. So when you've got the consistency there, it's a bit easier to work together. And through other parts of our team, there's a lot of new faces, and that's through turnover of players and a lot of debutants. So exciting time for the club with these new players coming in, and even down back too. Will Hamill and Andrew McPherson. So a lot of positive signs with the young players coming in, which is really exciting.
You've been through some great times in the club. Pushing hard for finals. Is this the most difficult go you've experienced since your time?
Yeah, well, probably for me personally. I know most clubs and nearly every AFL club go through it. But since I've been here, we've been near finals, or obviously through the last couple of years, really strong performances across the year. So but as I said, there's a lot of positives to come out of it, as I just alluded to with Will Hamill and Andrew McPherson, and I think we have a new debutant pretty much every week, which is great. So it's a lot of inexperience in the side, but the quicker you get those young fellas blooded and actually in the team and playing, then it builds up their confidence, and we start playing together, and the consistency of performances together.
Speaking of those young players, not many have played in front of a crowd, probably 4 or 5 have never had a crowd before. Do you talk them through that and make sure they don't play the game too early in their hits? Yeah,
I think well, for me personally, when I came in, I was obviously extremely nervous. So I knew a few of those guys are, even with no crowds. So I think a few of the boys will sort of just go, when we get our own time for the warm-up, go out there and actually have a look around and, watch the fans come in and, hear a bit of the noise and all that. So, but once you start playing, it's just footy, obviously at a high level and a high pace, but most blokes are pretty comfortable once they get started.
What does it do for you mentally, Laird, have the success that you said you've had for pretty much most of your career, and then you have this little down patch, and who knows, you could be 30-something by the time the Crows are fighting for those finals again. What does that do for you mentally?
No, it doesn't really change the way I look at the game and look at the team at the moment. So, personally, you always have a, as 100% of the players would, pride in your performance, and you want to play consistent AFL footy at a really high level. But then it's about, the older guys, mentoring the young guys, helping them. That we've had great examples with, Daniel Talia and, Fish, McCasey coming in and just making sure they're up to the level, and it's about bringing these guys in and making sure they're up to the AFL speed as quickly as possible. So for me, it's a twofold thing now. It's gotten to the point of the career where you're playing AFL footy now, trying to help the young boys come in and actually play and get up to the standard, which a lot of them are already. They're already playing some great footy. So it's different times, but as I said before, it's pretty exciting too.
What do you like about Will Hamill's game?
Well, he's lightning quick. I think most of our fans would probably say that. He's very, very skinny, and he's working heaps in the weights room to put on some size, but you don't want to take away too much from his natural game, and when you see it when he gets the ball, he's looking to do stuff with it, especially from half back. So I've got a great appreciation for what he does, and he's learning off Luke Brown in terms of his defensive stuff, and we're sort of talking about how he can get the ball and sort of move it pretty well. So he looks great. Looks really good.
You talked about the mix back there, but it would seem you don't get the same boost off half back, out of the back line that you have been in the past. Now, is that a combination of the game plan and getting used to things, or the change in the midfield?
Yeah, it's probably the way that the games have been going at the moment. A lot of our games early on have been sort of defensive, and unfortunately we haven't kicked too many big scores, which is something we're working on. So a matter of actually getting in our forward half. So it can make it hard at times to actually work the ball out when it's down there for large portions of the game. So it's not a matter of trying to force anything. You don't want to go out of your way and do things that aren't under the team plan and team structure. So just a matter about working through that.
But has it been quite an adjustment for you for the team plan and going about things now?
Yeah. I think new coach, new team plan. I think it takes a little bit to get used to, and I think definitely our first game was really strong, and then the last couple of weeks we've actually played the way we want to and execute the game plan. It's just probably a matter of doing that for 4 quarters instead of we had a really strong start and then sort of faded and let West Coast back in. So. And then also on top of that, taking our opportunities in front of goal, so actually a bit of scoreboard pressure as it was with the Freo game. So there's been massive improvement in terms of what we're actually trying to do and execute, just a matter of actually doing it for 4 quarters, and that will end up with a win.
Rory, the game plan, Laird?
What's that, sorry?
Different is the game plan?
No, it's not anything drastic. I don't think it'd be too hard to come in and absolutely rewrite everything and do everything differently. It's just a matter of actually, as I sort of said there, we do it, but we don't do it for a 4-quarter effort, and that's where our lapses come in. And if we're not taking opportunities down the other end, teams are too good defensively nowadays to actually let you back in it. And along with the shortened quarters as well, that doesn't help when it's trying to get a run on, and there's not a lot of time as there usually would be. So as I said before, massive improvements in what we've done, especially the last couple of weeks, and hopefully that extends on to Monday night.
The understanding and the education of players, that's not an issue, it's just the execution, say?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think and I think everyone would have saw it on the weekend. We came out, we jumped West Coast, and played a really exciting brand, and we're getting the inside, and then we didn't get the scoreboard pressure, and they kick a couple of goals, and as I said, with the shortened quarters, it only takes 2 or 3 goals, and it sort of extends out, and it gets it hard to play catch up. So as I said, we're getting better. It's just a matter of doing that for a extended period.
Condensed season bother you? Does it favour you playing many games in fewer days?
No, I don't think so. I don't know what the actual goal is, to be honest. I think they've talked about condensing it to shorter games and shorter breaks, but we went to the Goldie and stayed there for 2.5 weeks, and that was great for the team. And then now we're sort of just playing it by ear, as most teams are. So we actually got pretty lucky coming back here and being around family and out of a hotel room, which is nice. So. I think we just have to play it as it goes, but I don't personally have any issues with it.
No, you end up with 5-day breaks. Was that the
I think it just focuses more on recovery. It probably limits how much training you can sort of do in between weeks, and maybe managing players in terms of how much they're doing during the week in terms of training, and maybe how much they're playing, or if they need a rest, or especially with the young kids coming in, and maybe some of the older guys too. So I think that's more for the high performance team, and for them to go through and sit through and work out. But as I said, we don't really know who we're playing and when we're playing, so very interesting times.
What's the shortest break you could deal with? 4 days be too short?
I think we've had a 5-day before. I reckon that was. No, it's not too bad. I think it kind of helps this year with the shortened games. We're doing couple less Ks, you spend a bit more time on the bench, and the games just seem to go super quick when you're actually out there playing. So I think that goes hand in hand with it. But I reckon 4 or 5 days would be pretty good, I reckon.
No Sloan, obviously, this week. Have you any word on who's going to leave the side, or have you got any preference?
No, I think Smithy's trying to advocate for it, but no, that's for the leadership group, and I think we've got a multiple choices there in terms of who we can go with. We've got some really seasoned guys that are really adept in that position, and they'll have the discussion. I'll stay out of that one.
So the leadership group will vote between them?
I think it'll be between them, a discussion between them and Matty Nix and maybe some of the other coaches as well. But not for the playing group.
That's Tex.
He seems to be good. With all the COVID stuff, sometimes you actually go through a couple of days here and there where you don't see too many blokes, because we're in groups and we're sort of, one group starts early and they sort of stagger, and so I saw him today. He was bouncing around. I think he's actually back out running and moving around on the track, so it's kind of hard to miss him with his voice and his ears. So
You mentioned the Gold Coast and your time up there. There was talk that that'd be a great recruiting tool for the Suns. Do you feel as if, back in my group would be bad playing on the Gold Coast all the time?
Oh, the weather was nice. You wake up every morning, it's 20 degrees, and go and get a coffee and head down the beach. So that was nice. But no, I'm very happy here, and it was actually nice to get away and spend a bit of time with the boys, as I said, in the hub. And when you're around each other a lot more, you end up spending a lot more time together as a group, and in more groups than you usually would. So I think if you ask any of the guys, they actually really enjoyed it. But I was a bit sick of a hotel room by the end of it, so I'm pretty happy to come back here.
How have you seen your own performance there? A couple of years ago, obviously the backline distributor set up a lot of Adelaide's attack. How do you feel you're going?
Yeah, probably just sort of with the way the team's going, probably haven't had as much of an output as I've usually had the past couple of years. So I'm working hard on that and my performances. So it's something that I don't take lightly, and I'm training it, and as I said, I'm just trying to work out how the game's going and how the team's playing, and so I'm not going to try and do anything too drastically different, but I'm just going to make sure I'm pretty clear on my role in the team and what Matty Nix wants from me, and if I can execute that to the best of my ability, then that's my goal for the team.
Has your role changed?
No.
Does that explain something?
Yeah. Oh no, not too much. I've been down back. I played a little bit of up on the wing last weekend, but for the majority of the time I've been down back. So that's where I've played all my career, and as I said, as long as I'm doing stuff that Matty Nix wants and the coaches want, then that's fine by me. I know he's out there training, but I think the squad gets announced tomorrow, so I assume that if he gets through that all right, they'll have a discussion, and that's for this management and the coaches. So.